I'm Dana Han-Klein here with Anya Taylor-Joy and Cory Finley for Thoroughbreds.
What do you admire most about Lily?
For me or for Anya?
Both. For Cory.
I admire her resolve to do what she sets out to do. I admire her. It's a very painful thing to her, but I admire just her pure ability to hold emotions in and keep them to herself. Yes, there's something horrifically impressive about it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd also, her tenacity, I guess. I mean, if you're taking it down a very dark road, but I respect the fact that once that she set out on a goal, and it's almost like she keeps wanting to get better at it herself, and she's quite self-critical, well, very self-critical, but she actually uses that to become the image of whatever it is that she wants to do.
What is the nicest thing you've ever done for a friend?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's a testament to what a terrible friend I am that I'm having trouble thinking of one. But no, I've certainly, driven long distances late at night to get friends places they need to go.
That's sweet.
There's got to be something bigger out there, but I'll go with that for now.
A friend of mine was feeling her husband was no longer at home, and they'd been separated for a while, and so I went and stayed with her. And the last day that I was there, I cleaned her entire apartment and filled it with flowers and left her bottles of wine with little instructions of what to do all day so that she wouldn't be lonely. And I think that was sort of nice.
Yeah, I think
you gotta step up your friend.
I will.
I drove 500 miles.
I drove cross country twice.
Yeah.
On the reverse side, what is something that you regret doing to a friend or someone you care about?
I think anytime you miss out on spending time with somebody because you're too tired or whatever, and then a couple of days later you're just like, I really wish I could see that person now, and I should have just gotten up and seen them, something like that.
More than once, I've sent a highly critical text that is meant to be about a friend to the friend.
No!
I'll leave it at that.
Corey! Sorry.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You really need to learn. I really need to learn to check the name that you're putting into text. Yeah.
It's so tough these days because everything autofills, and it's just, it's a trap. It's all a trap.
I want you to lose.
What was the most emotionally challenging scene to them?
I would think probably the last major scene in the house, the last kind of set piece scene in the movie, required a very emotional performance from Anya, and also a very technical performance simultaneously. We had 4 goes of it, limited number of goes, and she did them all beautifully, but it was quite a difficult moment.
I really enjoyed that. I love really pushing myself. And I remember when Cory sort of first told me what we were going to do, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. And I think getting to the end of it and having been able to say that I did do it felt great. But I actually think the pool scene was pretty difficult to do because I had a raging fever and we were just in the water all day and trying to drown myself at the same time. So that was quite hard.
Why'd you only have 4 attempts at it?
I'm dancing around a spoiler, but there were issues with stains.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it there. Yeah.
That makes sense. Would you say that was the most logistically challenging scene as well?
Maybe. When you brought up the pool scene, that may have been equally logistically challenging. We had to have a camera that was, going underwater and coming out of the water, and was in kind of a waterproof case that kept leaking before we could even shoot it, so we were already behind. It was on a crane arm. We had actors holding their breath for long periods of time. We had quite a bit of complex emotional performance stuff, so that was a very logistically difficult day as well.
What do you think the most challenging thing for you to mentally adapt to yourself? Be like, okay, it's no longer a play, it's a movie.
I think just the length of scenes. This is still a movie that hopefully gets away with some long kind of set piece conversations that really lets the performances shine, which is always fun. But a theater audience has such an innate patience for just kind of like being hypnotized by the rhythm of a dialogue exchange. And I think the film audience just expects a lot more story at a much faster rate. So there were a ton of cuts from play to movie script, and then even by a factor of something, many more cuts from first, full director's cut of the movie to the final one.
What do you think changed the most about the characters, or were they always sort of fully formed?
I think the thing that changed the least from play to screenplay was the fundamentals of those characters. The stuff that changed the most was the kind of logistics of some of the kind of thriller elements of the story. We really get to go on more of a kind of plot, a murder plot in the movie that we didn't get to go into in the play. I think who the characters were has always been sort of the real spine of the story for me. So I think that actually carried over pretty seamlessly from the play.
What was your favorite? Like, what drew you to Lily when you first read it? Or were you like, yes, that?
Just the whole script in general. The dialogue was so witty and so interesting and so dark and delicious. And I really wanted the chance to play that with Olivia. And Olivia was already attached when I got the script. But it was strange, Lily just really spoke to me instantly, and I loved the idea of being able to create a character that has this perfect porcelain case around her, and then throughout the movie just strip away all of the layers and reveal the person underneath. And that just, I kind of just got actorly excited about that.
How do you define success? Personally.
Being happy in what you're doing. I know that sounds really trite, but if you can be happy with yourself and how you spend your days, I guess that's success.
It's a good question, and I guess rather than answer it, I'll just say it's that sort of divorcing myself from an economic notion of the answer to that question has been a lifelong challenge, and I think was at the root of this play. I think in some ways this play and then the movie was for me about sort of digging into some of those uncomfortable, contradictory, mixed feelings about wealth and the things that are wonderful about it and the things that are horrible and sort of invisibly violent about it. So that question has been weighing on me for many years, and I don't know if I've gotten closer to the answer, but I've certainly gotten a movie out of it.
Which is success in its own way. What's one thing you wish you had more time for?
Reading and friends and family.
Just stillness and doing nothing. I think that's such a rare commodity in this day and age. Yeah. I meditated for a while and I let it go, and I got to get back into that.
Growing up, who was your favorite fictional hero or heroine? These are all just left field questions. Just because I like
mine one's funky because debatable. I loved Anne Boleyn. I loved her. I found her so fascinating.
She's not fictional.
Oh, sorry, you said fictional, right? No, she's totally fictional. No, okay, sorry, I forgot fictional.
But I like that answer.
Then fictional Peter Pan.
Peter Pan was up there for me. I don't know. I guess he's more of a supporting character than a hero, but the Robin Williams genie from Aladdin was always sort of a guiding spirit in my early years.
What's some of the best advice you've received?
A great question. The best advice I've received, I think just anytime. I think something I often hear from people that really love and care about me is just to go easy on myself, and it's advice I try to give people that I love and care about too. And I think we're in sort of a culture and a world and a historical moment where I think everyone puts a lot of pressure on themselves, and I think being kind to yourself is, trite but important.
I guess just to enjoy it and enjoy everything, because you don't get brownie points when you die. Well, I hope you don't get brownie points when you die for not taking chances and not doing not being bold. Yeah.
Did either of you have a sound that sets you off?
In a bad way?
Yes, like the rower sound for me. I was like, this is every bad neighbor I've ever had, and I totally understood where it was coming from.
Well, I have a particular neighbor right now, and I hope they're watching this interview,
so
who has just loves to, really seems like rearrange furniture late at night, and that sound drives me up.
Like feng shui? Just like moving it around?
Not a feng shui experience for me, I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
High-pitched dog barks, and I love dogs, but like there's a specific vibration to like a Jack Russell's bark where you're just like, I can't cope with it.
Right, last question is, do you have any hidden talents?
Well, this is, I brag about this a lot, but I'd like it to be even less hidden than it is, but I can dunk.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm surprisingly good at rapping, and I don't mean that it sounds good. I just mean that I can get a lot of words out of my mouth very quickly.
Can you drop a fat rhyme right now?
No way in hell. I
Careful.
promise myself.
Yeah.
I promise myself never.
Definitely drop a beat.
No way, Cory.
Well, thank you both so much. Congrats on the film.
Thank you.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.